The top 10 fun facts about France. Did you know that France is the largest country in Europe and one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world? France has good food, amazing wine, beautiful cities, and charming culture. It's no surprise that everyone wants to visit. From the largest art museum to a bread superstition, this list covers it all. Keep reading for 10 fun facts about France that will make you want to hop on an airplane to Paris immediately. Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope all are doing good. My name is John. Welcome back RS channel. Before begin to start to take a look at video request to subscribe our RS channel and don't forget to hit bell button get an immediate notification. Let's begin. 10. The French drink over 11 million glasses of wine each year. France consumes the second largest amount of wine. In total, the French consume approximately 25 million hectoliters per year. They are second to the United States, which consumes about 30 million hectoliters. In addition to consuming a ton of wine, France is also known for creating the most expensive wine in the world. This bottle of wine costs around $21,000. While you probably won't get the chance to try the most expensive wine in France, you may get the opportunity to try some French wine. Here are some of the most popular French regions for wine. Burgundy, Bordeaux, Rhode Valley, Provence, close to Marseille, France. Champagne. If you ever find yourself in one of these French regions, be sure to stop and taste the wine. You also could pair the wine with some of the cheese that we mentioned earlier. 9. It's unlucky to turn a baguette upside down. The French believe that placing a baguette, or any type of bread, upside down on a table can cause bad luck. This legend dates all the way back to the Middle Ages and has never gone away. Back in the Middle Ages, the town executioner would often not have time to pick up their bread in the morning. The baker would hang a loaf upside down for the executioner to pick up later on in the day. Because of this practice in the Middle Ages, over time, upside-down bread became a symbol of fear and death. People would avoid any upside-down bread to avoid misfortune. If you ever get the chance to visit France, be sure that you do not place any bread on the table upside down. Also, if you see any upside-down bread, avoid it. 8. Supermarkets in France can't throw away food. Supermarkets in France are not allowed to throw away food that is near the best-by date. Instead, they must donate the food to a charity or food bank. France passed this law in 2016 to help reduce hunger and prevent food waste. Why doesn't everyone do this? Supermarkets in France are donating about 45,000 pounds of food annually that would have been thrown away if not donated. While some of the fruits and vegetables are deemed unable to be eaten, most of the food is distributed to families in need. That is great for both the people who could use the food and the environment. The supermarkets also benefit from this law because there is less trash to deal with. 7. France produces over 1,500 types of cheese. While the exact number of cheeses produced in France is unknown, it is said that they make over 1,500 different cheeses. If you happen to love cheese, this may sound like a dream come true. In 2018, the country exported more than 679,000 tons of cheese, while almost 895,000 tons were sold on the French retail market in 2017. Merci beaucoup. In fact, France ranks in the top 10 countries for their amount of cheese consumption. More than 95% of the French population eats cheese. French cheeses have several defining characteristics such as how long they age, the process of making the cheese, and how moldy they are. Here is a list of some of the most popular cheeses that you will find in France. Camembert de Normandie, Brie de Meaux, Reblochon, Fromage Blanc, Roquefort, Munster. If you decide to visit France and try these different types of cheeses, be sure to pair wine with them for the full, French experience. 6. The French eat 25,000 tons of snails each year. Did you know that in France over 25,000 tons of snails are eaten every single year? That is a lot of snails. On average, a resident of France eats approximately 500 snails per year. The French consider snails to be a delicacy and they are often enjoyed during holidays. In France, snails are referred to as escargots. While there are several different types of escargots that you can eat, one of the most common ways to eat snails in France is cooked in butter and garlic. The best way to eat snails in France is to do so at a French restaurant. Snails are often eaten as an appetizer, and to eat them, your waiter should provide you with special utensils to help crack the shell. And here's one of the quirkier facts in France: It is illegal to carry live snails on a train in France unless they have a ticket. It is a law that states animals weighing less than 5 kilograms, 11 pound, must travel with their own ticket. Sounds outdated? Tell that to the guy in 2008 that was fined for having live snails on the train. 5. France has the largest art museum. The Louvre Museum in Paris, France is the largest art museum in the world. This museum is so big that if you wanted to spend 30 seconds looking at each piece of art, it would take you approximately 100 days to get through the entire museum. French artists created 66% of all the artwork in the museum. Here are some of the most famous pieces of artwork in the Louvre Museum. The Mona Lisa. The Raft of the Medusa. The Venus de Milo. The Horse Tamers. The Wedding at Cana. Before the Louvre Museum became a museum, it was a fortress built in the 12th century and then renovated into a royal palace in the 16th century. Many people claim that the Louvre Museum is haunted due to its age and complicated past. Read, Paris closures and when to avoid museum and attractions. When visiting Paris, get your museum pass to enjoy priority, skip the line tickets to more than 60 of the top museums and monuments in and around Paris, explore the Louvre and Versailles, and visit the Arc de Triomphe, the Centre Pompidou, and many others. 4. France is the world's most popular tourist destination. Tourism in France directly contributed €79.8 billion to gross domestic product, GDP, in 2013, 30% of which comes from international visitors and 70% from domestic tourism spending. The total contribution of travel and tourism represents 9.7% of GDP and supports 2.9 million jobs, 10.9% of employment, in the country. Tourism contributes significantly to the balance of payments. France was visited by 89 million total foreign tourists in 2018, the most of any country in the world. France has 45 sites inscribed in the UNESCO's World Heritage List and features cities or sites of high cultural interest, Paris being the foremost, but also Loire Valley, Toulouse, Strasbourg, Bordeaux, Lyon and others, beaches and seaside resorts, ski resorts, as well as rural regions that many enjoy for their beauty and tranquility, green tourism. Small and picturesque French villages of quality heritage, such as Coulanges La Rouge, Locronan, or Montsoreau, are promoted through the association Les Plus Beaux Villages de France, literally, the most beautiful villages of France. The Remarkable Gardens label is a list of the over 200 gardens classified by the Ministry of Culture. This label is intended to protect and promote remarkable gardens and parks. It has some of the world's largest and renowned museums, including the Louvre, which is the most visited art museum in the world, but also, the Musée d'Orsay which, like the nearby Musée de l'Orangerie, is mostly devoted to Impressionism, and Centre Georges Pompidou, dedicated to contemporary art. Paris hosts some of the world's most recognizable landmarks such as the Eiffel Tower, which is the most visited paid monument in the world, the Arc de Triomphe, the Cathedral of Notre Dame, or the Sacré-Cœur on Montmartre. The Site des Sciences et de l'Industrie, located in Parc de la Villette, is the biggest science museum in Europe. Near Paris are located the Palace of Versailles, the former Palace of the Kings of France, now a museum, and the medieval village of Provence. Both attractions are protected as UNESCO World Heritage Site. 3. The beaches are beautiful. When planning a summer vacation to France, finding the perfect stretch of coastline or a nice secluded beach is an essential part of any successful itinerary, and there are plenty of destinations to choose from in northern, western, and southern France. From Nord-Pas-de-Calais along the English Channel to the Mediterranean hotspots of Provence-Alpes-Maritimes, Côte d'Azur and the Antibes Peninsula, this country is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in Europe. Whether you're traveling the southern French Riviera, along the western Bay of Biscay, or on the northern coastline of Normandy, you're sure to find a fantastic beach escape. Nord-Pas-de-Calais, English Channel. The Côte Fleurie, Normandy's coastline. Brittany, the Côte Sauvage, and the Pink Granite Coast. The French Atlantic and Bay of Biscay. Western Mediterranean and Côte Vermely. 2. Europe's highest mountain is Mont Blanc in the French Alps. Mont Blanc, French, Mont Blanc Mobile, Italian, Monte Bianco, both meaning White Mountain, is the highest mountain in the Alps and Western Europe, rising 4,807.81 meters 15,774 feet above sea level. It is the second most prominent mountain in Europe, after Mount Elbrus, and it is the 11th most prominent mountain summit in the world. The mountain stands between the regions of Aosta Valley, Italy, and Savoy and Haute-Savoy, France. It gives its name to the Mont Blanc Massif, bordering Switzerland, and forming part of a larger range referred to as the Graian Alps. The location of the summit of Mont Blanc is on the watershed line between the valleys of Ferret and Venaille in Italy and the valleys of Montjoy and Arve in France, on the border between the two countries. Ownership of the summit area has long been a subject of historical dispute between the two countries. The Mont Blanc Massif is popular for outdoor activities like hiking, climbing, trail running, and winter sports like skiing and snowboarding. The most popular climbing route to the summit of Mont Blanc is the Gouter route, which typically takes 2 days. The 3 towns and their communes which surround Mont Blanc are Courmayeur in Aosta Valley, Italy, and Saint-Gervais-les-Bains and Chamonix in Haute-Savoy, France. The latter town was the site of the first Winter Olympics. A cable car ascends and crosses the mountain range from Courmayeur to Chamonix, through the Col du Géant. The 11.6 kilometers, 7 + 1 4-mile, Mont Blanc Tunnel, constructed between 1957 and 1965, runs beneath the mountain and is a major transalpine transport route. 1. Paris Gare du Nord is Europe's busiest railway station. The station accommodates trains between the capital and northern France via the Paris-Lille Railway, as well as to international destinations in Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. Located in the northern part of Paris near the Gare de l'Est in the 10th arrondissement, the Gare du Nord offers connections with several urban transport lines, including Paris Metro, RER and buses. It is the busiest railway station in Europe by total passenger numbers. In 2015, the Gare du Nord saw in excess of 700,000 passengers per day. This shall involve a significant expansion of the station's footprint and ability to handle passengers, expanding on-site amenities and establishing a new departure terminal in preparation for the 2024 Summer Olympics. As a consequence of this redevelopment, the Gare du Nord will become the largest railway station in Europe. Alright guys, I hope you guys are enjoy this video. Like this more interesting video, request to like this video and make sure don't forget to subscribe our RS channel and hit a bell button to get an immediate notification guy. Thanks for watching. See